Did you know that illegal immigration in the United States has increased from 3 million to 12 million over the last decade? In my opinion, this intense amount of illegal immigration is making a mockery of our legal immigration system and is also unfair to those who went through the right process to gain citizenship to pursue the American dream. In this speech, I'm going to discuss why we need to increase border control, the solution to the problem with border control, what the positive outcomes of border control are, and why you should care about border control. First of all, I'm going to talk about why we need to increase border control. One of the main reasons we need to increase border control is that it can prevent human trafficking. According to the International Center of Migration Counter-Trafficking Unit, every year approximately 14,000 women and children are brought illegally through the U.S. from Mexico by human traffickers. Also, according to the Freedom from Fear magazine, the U.S. border presents a distinctive set of challenges for combating human trafficking. Illegal immigration is also a huge cost to the national debt in the United States. It drains government spending by overburdening the social welfare system, and it also puts a burden on the health and the education system. That's all according to the New York Times. It is also a great measure of drug trafficking. Lack of border control allows people to bring illegal drugs into the United States. Another reason we need to increase border control is it can also help with terrorism. It makes them where they're less likely to get in unnoticed. Now that we've talked about the need for border control, I would like to talk about what the solutions to border control would be. First of all, we need to commit to building the fence that Congress has already provided funding for. According to the New York Times, Congress authorized the construction of 700 miles of border fence and appropriated over $1.1 billion to make this fence. As of recently, Washington has only built a few miles of fence. We could also use a thing called BorderStat. What it is it's a program that's used to bring accountability to measuring the progress in securing our borders. What it does is it lets us see what parts of the border are actually functional and what parts are not working, so that we can target the parts that are not working. The last way we can increase border control is to actually increase the amount of border control agents. Now that we've discussed the solution to the problem, I want to talk about what would happen if we increase border control. If we were to increase border control, there would be less human trafficking, and there would be less drug trafficking as well. According to the Office of National Drug Control, the U.S. Border Patrol is primary federal drug interdiction agency along our land borders with Canada and Mexico. They specifically focus on drug smuggling between the ports of entry. It'll also make it harder for terrorists to enter the country. And one of the most important things is illegal immigration does put a huge strain on our resources. It would put less strain on government funding. Less illegal immigration, then less immigrant dependency on their social welfare system. Now that we've been over the positive outcomes of border control, I would like to talk about why you should care about the increase in border control. I understand it's difficult to spend money and turn people away who are illegally trying to enter the country. However, is it worth allowing human trafficking, drug trafficking, terrorism, and an increase in the national debt, which is already outrageous? I provided you with enough information to understand why the lack of border control contributes to all of these things. So that's just something that you need to think about. There are legal pathways to gain citizenship into the United States. It's not that we're not ever going to allow anybody into the country, but lack of border control has severe negative effects. It allows human trafficking, drug trafficking, it contributes to terrorism, and it has a huge impact on our national debt. All of these things need to be taken seriously. Is lack of border control worth the lives that are being exploited by human trafficking? Or is it worth allowing illegal immigration to put a strain on the social welfare system and allowing the national debt to go through the ceiling? I don't think so, and neither should you.